Hi, Team FitBuzz. My name is Mary Brum, and I am super, super excited to be here with you. Laura has asked me to share with you a little bit about how to share your story, how to share your personal story on social network. So I'm going to do that today. But before I do that, let me just give you a little bit about my background. I became a coach September of 2014, and I am a lifetime two-star diamond. I am a Success Club All-Star. In September, I will be a Success Club All-Star Legend, and I'm super excited about that. And then our team is just growing, 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 growing. And when I became a challenger, just like you, I knew that after 3 weeks of being in my first group that this was something I wanted to share with my friends and my family. And I decided if I was going to go all in, I might as well just jump all in. So no toe dipping for me. I became a business builder from day one, and I've never looked back. So I want to share a little bit about my personal story and how I share that on social network. And I think if you have been listening to National Wake Up Calls, and I know if you've been doing your personal development, you and I can both agree that you have many, many, many whys. You have a lot of things from your past that don't necessarily define you, but they truly make you who you are. There's little pieces of your past that have created this beautiful woman or this amazing man, and that is a part of you, and that's a part of your business. And that's truly where people are going to relate to you when you start sharing them. Intimately, personal, vulnerability, all of those things are where the people that are watching you and not saying anything, not liking, not commenting, those are the type of posts where they are eventually, after a consistency of that, they're going to reach out to you. So I want to talk about one, I want to start off with one specifically that's pretty deep, dark secret. And I have started to share about it on social networking, but it has a lot to do with anxiety and fear. And the anxiety and fear for me goes back to at the age of 20. I was attacked in my car by a woman who was schizophrenic. And I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And thankfully, by the grace of God, it was the one morning that Mayberry was not in the back seat. So I came up to a stop sign, and a girl who was barefoot in her PJs, she looked like she was 12. She looked like she was 13. Her hair was a mess. She looked scared. And she just started banging on my window. She just started banging. And immediately, my mama reaction was to roll the window down and help her. So as I did that, she started beating the crap out of me. And I was afraid. I was afraid for the first time. And I was fearful that my life was over. I didn't know if I was going to live. So I gunned it, and things ended up okay. But I share that because that changed Mary. That changed me forever. That put a drop of fear in me that I didn't have before. So for a couple years after that, I stopped jogging at night. I stopped going out to my car at night after the mall or at the grocery store. I always had to be escorted. My confidence level dropped. It just so happened that, crazy enough, after that attack, 2 days later, my fiance ended up hitting me for the first time, and I became a victim of domestic violence from a personal level. So this was a huge turning point in my life in my early 20s, and I never really understood how that could impact my Beachbody business or impact me as a woman on a personal level with other women, but it has. It has. And so what I've learned is that through the Beachbody programs and through personal development and through my fitness journey of nutrition, that I need to be strong from the inside out, that I need to pour in the positive self-talk, focus on my faith and my God, because if I'm not doing those things, if I'm not pouring into myself, how am I going to deliver that to a team? How am I going to deliver that to my challengers? And how am I going to attract women who I want to join on, my tribe of ladies? How am I going to do that? So going back to this event, this was a big part of me. This was a big part of my story. And I knew I was not ready to share this on social network. I was not ready to share this on my blog. But what I slowly started doing over the last 18 months is I started sharing this monthly in my challenge groups. And I run my challenge groups possibly a little bit different than what you do. I don't know. But each month in my challenge groups for 21 days, I post videos. And sometimes life happens and I will actually post a graphic from PicMonkey. But each and every day, my challengers know that they're going to have a video, 2 to 4 minutes, and an interaction face-to-face with me or some of my downline or apprentice coaches that have joined on. So every single month, one of the challenges normally pertain to your why or something about your past that you have fought and conquered or that you want to face, a fear. And slowly, this past of mine about being a victim, about feeling overwhelmed with anxiety and not knowing how to get out of a depression that I was going to be attacked again, that started to come out. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about something that's so personal to you, that's so deep and so private, and I want you to write it down. I want you to make a little story and read it to yourself and add to it and think about the emotions and think about the way your body felt when you were going through that moment. And if you cry, that's all good, because the first time I shared this with my challenge group, I cried. I lost it, and I didn't anticipate that. But if you can share it with a group of women who you are challenging to grow from the inside out, not just with nutrition, not just with fitness, not just with accountability, but a personal growth, then they will connect with you. They will get to see another layer of you that you've never shared. And I believe that if you keep doing that on a continuing basis, you will start to dribble and drop that story on your social network, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, whether it is on your blog, whether it's face-to-face, whether it's in your community, maybe it's in your church, maybe it's at a mom's meeting, at a picnic, or at a park with your kids. But that story, that little bit of you will come out. Okay, so that's one. That's kind of a deep, deep, dark one. My next one is about marriage. So if you go to my Facebook, you will see that my husband and I, Michael, we spend every single Friday together, and we have 4 kids, and it's crazy. But we do that because his office is closed on Friday, and we started doing that immediately after dating, spending 8 hours together every single Friday. And we knew that once we got married, we did not want to stop dating each other. And we also recognized that every child we kept adding in, the stress level increased just a little bit more. So we decided to commit to unplugging and engaging in one another, really dating one another and getting to know each other's dreams and visions and goals, because they change. They do change. And we've only been married 6 years, but 6 years and 4 kids, we've definitely changed our love language. We've definitely changed our passions for one another. We definitely look different. So every single Friday we hang out together, and I share this on my social network. But what I wasn't sharing for a while, and what I've started to share more of, is the reality that marriage is not perfect. That we identify that we have flaws and weaknesses, and we have struggles. We have highs and we have lows. And I want people to relate to me because I want to attract the kind of women who are brave enough to know that you are normal just like me, but you recognize that your marriage is a priority, or you recognize that love is important, or you recognize that family time is important, and you recognize that it's hard to fulfill the need of your husband. But what I'm trying to say is that I recognize that my marriage problems, my marriage counseling that I do go to with Michael and I, that I needed to start sharing that more. That I didn't want to give off this image on social network that Michael and I were perfect and that we had it all together and we had it all figured out, because that's just not true. So what I do is I read a lot of books about relationships. I read a lot of books about marriage, and I take little things, little sentences, little pictures, and I relate to them. and I share them on social network. So one of the books I recommend is Weird. I don't have the author's name in front of me, but the title is Weird. It's a blue book. It's on Amazon. I definitely recommend that if you're looking for a book that's a little bit different about love and investing and being different and authentic and crazy and wild in life. Another book that I really recommend, and it's not here, but it is called, this is another one. It's called Anything. And this is a faith-driven book, but it is about a husband and a wife looking up to God and asking for more direction because they believed that there was something bigger, a greater journey in life than what they were facing the everyday in and out, Monday through Friday, clock in, clock out. So by reading these books, by reading a marriage book or a love book, in my case, this is part of my story, I became a postpartum depression mom after baby number 4, and my husband is extremely successful, and I was just a stay-at-home mom. So for me, my marriage hit rock bottom after Mikey was born, and that was hard. That was hard. That was the first time I was in marriage counseling. So that's a big part of my why, and that's a big part of my personal development. So I challenge you, if you are married or if you have a husband or a wife, to start considering personal development books that are going to increase your love language, that are going to increase your perspective of your marriage. And if you're not, then that's okay. You can, think of a different option like finding the right spouse, finding the right soulmate. But that definitely has helped me to be able to share that with others, my story. Okay, so it's been 11 minutes. I'm going to stop because I don't want to go too long, but I hope my tips have helped you. I hope that you took away a little bit of an insight that maybe you haven't tried or maybe you will be able to implement in the future. If you are not my friend, please feel free to follow me or friend request me. I would love to get to know you, and I'm in Tampa, Florida, Bel Air, Florida, in the southern states, and that's it. All right, guys, I hope you're having a great day, and thank you, Laura, so much for inviting me to share with your team. All right, girls and guys, bye.